Welcome to South Asia in Maps. This is your facilitator J. Reddy, and at South Asia we target to bring a in-depth knowledge about Bharat, South Asia south of Karakoram Mountains to Kanyakumari in the form of icons, images and maps. Excuse me. And we are continuing our fascinating journey in the land of five arms or five tributaries of mighty Sindhu River or Indus River. In the last few presentations under the Punjab Geography folder, you can find 57 districts of Punjab, that is West Punjab, East Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Pakhtunkhwa or northwestern provinces. You should be aware in order to understand the broad, deeper understanding of historical Punjab from Khyber Pass in the northwest to Delhi Ridge in the southeast. And we also discussed about the various regions like Malwa, Pawad, Cholistan, Peshawar Basin, Bannu Basin, and Derawale, Derajat region, Derawal region, and so on. And also about the mighty Sutlej River, the southern part of the Punjab rivers. And in this presentation, we continue our journey with the discussion about BEAS River. After this presentation, you will have a very good understanding, a bird's eye view. Suppose if you fly like 30,000 feet above Himalayas on that part of the planet and look down on Bharat, you will get a broader idea of what BEAS River is, what historical significance it has, and so many things we will be looking at. We will be looking at BEAS River, that's also called Vipasa River in the ancient times. That is around about 470 meters. It starts at a place called Rohtang Pass, passes to the Manali town, Kullu town, and at Larji, a town called Larji, it pierces the mighty Dhauladhar mountains or Dhauladhar mountains, and emerges out of the Dhauladhar mountains at a town called Mandi in central Himachal Pradesh, continues its journey, and it is dammed downstream and forms a big reservoir, used to be called Pong Dam. Now it is called Maharana Pratap Sagar Dam. And at Mirthal, the river debouches into the Punjab plains, means comes into the plain from the mountainous region. That is called debouching of the river. Then travels and eventually meets its mouth, that is Sutlej River, because it is tributary of bigger river Sutlej, that is around about 1200 kilometers or so. So we look at Dhauladhar range. It gives a very beautiful, fascinating valley called Kangra Valley, and also very deeper valley with lesser in width called Kullu Valley. So those are the things we will discuss in this presentation round with the BEAS River. And I will expand these things a little bit so that we will get a clear idea. Excuse me. So we are looking at the Himachal Pradesh region. These are called Dhauladhar mountains. In order to have a proper context, you can see Simla will be somewhere here, somewhere because it's a Mandi, then you have Simla here, then you have Palanpur, and you have Kangra. Kangra district is the gateway to Kangra Valley. It is the heartland of Himachal Pradesh. It's a core where most of its agriculture resides, its farmland and pleasant weather and industrious population and beautiful valley. Even though Simla around about 20 to 2300 meters about mean sea level, is the capital actually in the mountainous region. This is also a core, but Kangra is considered to be a real historical core region of Himachal Pradesh, Kangra. This is the Rohtang Pass. This is the Dhauladhar mountains. Dhaula means white, Dhar means mountains. Dhauladhar mountains are also called Dhaulachar mountains. They are associated with Lord Shiva, who resides in this area. So Lord Shiva is also called the Lord of Dhauladhar mountains. Dhauladhar Ishwara, Dhauladhareshwara, or Dhaulachareshwara, because he resides in Dhauladhar. Such great mountains. And now we have Himadri mountains, or Himalayan mountains, main Himalayan mountains. Somewhere here that Himalayan mountains here cuts into one branch, again cuts into another branch called Panjal. So Chandra and Bhaga river goes through Panjal, that we will look at south of Panjal next time. Sorry, north of Panjal. And Ravi river goes south of Panjal. And there is a pass called Rohtang Pass. From the Rohtang Pass, BEAS River or Vipasa River starts its journey. And it's a small valley called Kullu Valley. Here the town called Manali. Then as you go through Manali, it gets a the eastern tributary Parbati, and again one more tributary river Sainj. And Kullu will be there, Kullu town, somewhere here. So the valley name is Kullu Valley. That means upper reaches of BEAS River, Vipasa River is called Kullu Valley region. It continues its journey. This is the Dhauladhar mountains, Dhaulachal mountains. It pierces the Dhaulachal mountains at Larji and goes through a gorge and finally enters out of the Dhaulachal mountains at a place called Mandi. Mandi is a central district in Himachal Pradesh. Today it used to be a princely state before 1947 partition independence. The river continues and forms a greater and bigger valley called Kangra Valley. And the valley name is Kangra Valley because of its historic city called Kangra Fort. That gives the valley name Kangra Valley. And also it's called BEAS Valley because it's BEAS. On one side you see Dhauladhar mountains, on the other side you see a Shivalik mountain. So the river is between these two and forms a valley, and it is dammed now at a place called Pong and forms a dam called Pong Dam. Now the name of the dam is changed to Maharana Pratap Sagar Dam. So that is about the BEAS River. This is the other way of looking at the BEAS River. We see we have a Rohtang Pass here, and beyond the Rohtang Pass you see this is the Dhaulachal mountains, because this is the Kangra Valley, Dhaulachal mountains, this is the Panjal mountains. Here there is the Himalayan mountains, upper Himalayan mountains or greater Himalayan mountains, that branches once into Panjal and other into Himachal mountains. Between the Panjal and Himachal you see Chandra river here, Bhaga river here. The capital Kelong will be here, and capital, both of them, the rivers will meet at Tandi, and the journey continues. That's about the Chandra, Bhaga river, Chenab river. That's not the point of discussion today. Just I am showing so that you can have a clarity, because Dhaulachal mountains here and Panjals here, you see the Ravi starting from Brahmaur, a place, and skips the Dhaulachal mountains and enters into the Punjab plains at Madhopur town. So you can see. So coming back here, Rohtang Pass, and you have a Manali town and Kullu town, and it pierces the Dhauladhar range at the Larji, enters out of the Dhauladhars at Mandi, continues its journey, forms the Pong Dam and continues, and enters into the Punjab plains at a place called Mirthal, that is a few kilometers south of Pathankot, the historic city. Pathankot will be somewhere here. The continues its journey and it will join the Sutlej river at a place called Harike Pattan, that is in the Amritsar district, or now they call it the southern portion, Taran district, and joins, that means it is its mouth. And you will get a different picture here again. The same thing, different. Rohtang Pass, you can see the Kullu Valley, you can see the Larji, Dhauladhar mountains, and you can see Mandi here, and it continues its journey, and the Rana Pratap Sagar Dam or Pong Dam, and out of Himachal, Mirthal. This is the Kangra Valley. This is the historic Kangra district of the British Punjab. That means at that time it has a Kangra district and Kullu district and Lahul and Spiti also at that time. Now this is the Kullu district and this is the Mandi district. Mandi district, the river divides the Mandi into two parts. Mandi district and this is the Kullu district and Lahul and Spiti district here. This is the Hamirpur district and this is the Yuna district. It used to be in the Hoshiarpur district. And what are the districts the river separates through its journey? You know, Vipasa river or BEAS river is around about 470 kilometers only. And as we travel on this river and we can see what are the districts it separates. So when we are coming from the river, this and it's the entire Kullu valley is here, it doesn't separate, and cuts through the Dhauladhar mountains at Larji and enters into Mandi. In the Mandi, the river separates the Mandi districts in the two parts, the northern part Joginder, Nagar and Mandi, and southern part of the districts. And the BEAS river forms almost a border between southern portion of Hamirpur district, that used to be formerly in Kangra district, now Hamirpur district. Again the southern portion of Yuna area predominantly, that used to be in the Hoshiarpur district before Yuna. Because it is a Pahadi speaking district, it was given back to Himachal Pradesh rather than keeping in Punjabi Suba in 1966 Punjab Reorganization Act. So on the right bank of the river, it is part of Mandi district and whole Kangra district and continues, and here you see it separates Gurdaspur, and you can see here it separates Gurdaspur district, Amritsar district of Bari Doab from the Bist Doab, Jalandhar Doab, that is Hoshiarpur district and Kapurthala district. That means on the left hand side you see Kangra, Joginder, Nagar and Palanpur and Kangra, Pathankot, and we'll have Gurdaspur, Batala and Dinanagar and Ajnala, Amritsar and Taran Patti and finally Harike Pattan. On the left hand side of the river you see a town called Mukherian, and we can have the Yuna Tehsil and Kapurthala will be here somewhere, and Sultanpur Lodi. The beautiful Kangra railway was built during the British time. The railway was a meter gauge railway. You have Pathankot district in east, Gurdaspur district of East Punjab somewhere here. From Pathankot, the railway line starts and goes to Kangra and Palanpur and terminates at Joginder Nagar. That goes in the Kangra valley. From the Kangra valley you can see the beautiful mighty Dhauladhar mountains, Dharmashala and Yol and those hill stations are present in Dhauladhar mountains. But at the foothills in the Kangra valley, the Kangra valley railway line was built during the British time to connect from the Pathankot to Joginder Nagar. That is about the BEAS river and Vipasa river. And we discussed about the small river, a beautiful river around about 500 kilometers, which starts its journey at Rohtang Pass. Its mouth or termination point is Harike Pattan or Harike on Amritsar district border and Firozpur district border with Sutlej river. That means BEAS is a tributary of Sutlej. BEAS is the major river, perhaps only river of Punjab that completely flows within the Indian territory. That means east side of Radcliffe line. That is the line that divides the Mu'mins, the believers of Islam, on the other side, and Kafirs, non-believers of Islam, on this side. That's how they, the people in Islamic world, they always think a world is populated by these two Mu'mins and Kafirs, and there is always a war, jihad between these two, and the Mu'mins has to strive till they eliminate Kafirs and convert them into Darul Islam and Darul Harb. But the river entirely flows within the Indian territory. It is not divided between India and Pakistan, unlike Sutlej River or Ravi River and Chenab River, Jhelum River, Indus River. Remaining all rivers, they flow in the Kafirs territory. They also flow in the Islamic Darul Islam's territory. And we talked about the Manali town upstream, the Kullu town in the middle, and Larji town, and we talked about the Mandi town, also district headquarters in the central Himachal Pradesh, where the river completely comes out of Dhauladhar range and enters into the plains, continues its journey and dammed at there are Gobipur region down and Gobipur at Mirthal. It enters into Talwar region, and Mirthal enters into Punjab plain and continues its journey, separating on the right hand side Gurdaspur and Amritsar district, on the left hand side parts of Hoshiarpur district, that is Mukerian and Dasuya and Kapurthala and Sultanpur Lodi, till its journey, that is the destination, its mouth, Harike Pattan, where it joins Sutlej River. That is about the small Punjab river, Sutlej, tributary or Vipasa river. And this is your facilitator J. Reddy. And thanks for watching this presentation. And as usual, we appreciate your subscriptions and recommendations, comments and compliments. And we will continue our journey of exploring our fascinating land of the Mother Bharat, south of Karakorams and Pamirs. And we concentrate now on Punjab, and we'll see other regions after some time. Thank you very much, and see you in the next presentation.